Alright folks, welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video, and we've been playing about last night on Twitch on the 25 dungeons. Actually having quite a lot of fun, to be honest, and I think a lot of people are complaining, yeah, the drop rates aren't quite as good. I'm not entirely sure if that's right. I think they're a little bit better than people give them credit for. I would like to have seen them a little bit higher, don't get me wrong, but it's not like Plarium are ever just going to give away 6-star gear, it's Plarium at the end of the day. And if anything, it's a new challenge, it's pretty fun. So we've been building teams for all of these dungeons on Twitch last night. It was really good. We all chipped in, put in a bit of effort, and yeah, Dragon's Lair was pretty easy. Ice Golems I haven't even touched yet because, well, don't really like Ice Golem. Spider's cool, but Fire Knight is the one that I farmed the most of, obviously PvP player. So we've been playing about with the Fire Knight, so I've built what I believe is the fastest team right now. We tried so many different variants of it, loads and different champions in it. I've spent, as you can see, I think I had 100 million silver last night. I've got 14 million left, so please leave a like and subscribe because I've blasted through my resources for this video. Really trying every way, shape or form, and that's with the half price gear changing right now as well. I would have no silver if it wasn't for that, so in one way that's been quite good. But anyway, yeah, so let's just crack on with the team. You're going to see, obviously, the best time. So the best time so far we've had out of stage 25 is 1 minute and 4 seconds. I think I've done about 80 to 90 runs so far. So it's not loads, but I think, well, I know if I leave this to run overnight, I'm pretty positive we'll get this under the minute. But when it says 1 minute 04, it's really running an average of about 1 minute 9, 1 minute 10. So it's pretty good. It's a pretty fast run. Let's just have a quick look at the team. So you guys will have probably seen this. The only way to do Fire Knight fast, absolutely only way, is using Seer. There's no other way to get through those two waves quick enough. And this is not, absolutely not, a free-to-play friendly team at all. It's like gear intensive to the max. I mean, this took so long to get it engineered to the exact point when we need it. I made a lot of mistakes along the way, but yeah, I know Murder Inc. He posted a video with this exact same team. I originally actually made this team, but I didn't have Trax in it. I was using Visix just to get through the content. So for any of you guys, you can use this with replacing Krutraxa with Visix and replacing Kaimar with Renegade, and you will get through the content, but it will be much slower. But Visix makes it really safe because you've got a lot of good turn meter reduction on Visix as well. And I was still pulling it off like 135, 130 with the Visix team, so that was pretty decent. But I tried loads of other options. I actually tried Baron in the A1 slot, hoping to get his secret skill unlocked and do some stuff because he does the increase attack in all battles as well. But I wasn't able to get the shield down quick enough, and Krutraxa really, I was looking through all the champions in the game, she is like number one for this role. She gives a good aura, she's got a buff on her to start with, she's got a 4 hitting A1, she's just, yeah, I think she is by far the best, and she hits really hard too. So I think at the moment, I might be wrong, but I can't see any other team that could beat this team. I think the only way to shave this time down, at the moment anyway, is to just gear it better. There might be something sitting out there that's not been used yet, but they've nerfed so much stuff, the enemy max HP stuff, the poisons, so I can't really see what else. But I mean, 1 minute 4, I'm pretty happy with that just now. Hopefully we can get it under the minute. I was really hoping to get it under the minute for this video, but it wasn't quite there. But let's just run the team and see how it does in action. So, right, just the typical tier team here starting. Now, the speeds are a bit different. Now, this is exactly what we want. That is the reason this team does well, is we leave that one champion alive. It took me quite a while, but I think at the moment it seems to be running about 90% success rate to leave one champion alive on the first wave, and that's what makes it faster. If you do kill the whole first wave in a oneer, it takes like an extra 10 seconds. So it's not like crazy slower, but it's definitely much slower. And then it's pretty consistent after this. Like I say, this should land somewhere between 1 minute 5 and 1 minute 10, unless we have a total disaster. Now, the secret really to this is in the gear, the masteries, everything like that. So Krutraxa's doing a bunch of stuff, and she's in relentless gear. So there's a lot of RNG in that behalf because, if she procs relentless loads, she will make it a lot faster. And at one point, I will proc Relentless like a crazy amount. I've seen Protraxa do like 6 or 7 turns in a row before, so that could easily happen. Also, you've got extra turns coming from Seer there. So there we've got 1 minute 7, best 1 minute 4. So that is the team. Let's just sell our useless piece of gear, resistance, and run it again, see what happens. Now, every so often you will kill this wave in a winner. Let's see what happens here. No, we still left one alive. It seems to be, like I say, out of the 100 runs, I've only had maybe, I think about, well, it's about 90 or 100 runs we've done. We've had about 10 that didn't do it. So I'm guessing it's roughly about 90%. But the good thing is when you do kill that first wave, it's still like a 1 minute 16 run. So it's pretty good. 1 minute 16 to 1 minute 20 run. Because all you have to do on the second wave is just come all the way back round to Kaimar and then just reset and then do it again. The reason this is working faster is because you're basically killing them all down to the last sliver of health on the one champion that's left. Then you reset with Kaimar, then Protraxa just cleans them up, and then you go into the next wave with all your abilities up, so you're able to just do Lydia into Seer again, and most of the time you seem to clear that wave. It seems to be that first wave where there's like one champion that always seems to kind of stay. And we had to kind of play about with the crit damage mainly on Seer to get that. So it looks like we're going to be at 1 minute 7 again. Oh, a bit longer this time, 1 minute 8. Yeah, we had to play about with the crit damage. So originally I had Seer in crazy high crit damage just to clear the waves. And I think we were running her, there we go, see, same again. We had her at 315 crit damage in Savage with the speed that we needed. There, that might have slowed us down there because we didn't actually do the whole wave in a winner there, but it's only going to shave a few seconds off. Now if we can proc a few Relentless though, that will bring it back. That's the good thing about this team. But yeah, so it was about 310, 315, can't quite remember, but it was a lot. It was really tough to get that as well, really, really tough. But we were doing it, and it would just, I saw on the odd occasion it would leave that one champion up, and then it was actually a quicker run. So we just whittled it down. It took a lot of silver because every time we had to do it, we had to change the gear all around. But I think we're running our, off the top of my head, it's about 287 crit damage now. Seems to have been the perfect amount. Because we had her at like 281, 282, and it was a lot of the time leaving 2 or 3 up. And as soon as we hit 287, I believe it's 287, it'll be somewhere around that. We'll check afterwards. Whatever we've got it at right now seems to be the most consistent. So yeah, hopefully that doesn't make it too difficult for people getting the exact one. As you can see, we were 1 minute 15 there. That was just because we had to do that extra go on that second wave, so that shaved a few seconds off it, and I don't think we got any Relentless procs there. So that's about the highest this team will go. Let's see what happens here. Hopefully we can get one where we blow the whole wave up. No, see, it's pretty consistent, does it every time. Keep going with this. There we go, we got the wave. So about 13 seconds to the boss, that's really what we're wanting. And then we're in for that sort of, that time. Like I say, if we do get the God RNG and we get Protraxa to take a shitload of turns and we get Karma Burn coming up quicker because Seer's taking extra turns in our A1, I think we'll definitely do it under a minute. I believe I'll do that tonight because I'm just going to leave it running for ages and see how we get on, so I'll definitely post a video. The only thing I'm not doing is I'm not going to record it all and sift through it to find that one run. So hopefully one time I actually manage to record it and see what happens. But yeah, it's looking a fairly good run this. I think this will be about a 1 minute 6, 1 minute 5, 1 minute 6, because we had an extra turn there, that's always good. Protraxa does her thing. No, we didn't get a decent Karma Burn there, so it's not going to be as good. There we go, 1 minute 9. So you get it, guys. I'm actually going to play the 1 minute 5 is I think the quickest one I recorded. I actually missed the 1 minute 4. I was just playing that when I was getting a drink, and it was on Twitch at the time, so 1 minute 4 is the best time. But let's quickly go in and find the absolute best time we've done with this team, and then we'll look through all the gear, through the champions, and explain what's going on. Right, so here's the video for, I think this is the 1 minute 5. So I mean, it's literally like a second or two off what we've been doing, but every little helps. So let's Same again, we do this, leave that. We actually left 2 champions up here, so this just shows the 1 minute 5 probably would have been about 1 minute 3 here if it had. And again, we actually lost time here, so yeah, as you can see, we could easily get down to 1 minute 2, 1 minute 3, I think, which is why I think we can definitely get under the minute at some point. Not that it really matters, guys. We're able to farm this on a quick enough time to make it worthwhile. And I just like to build teams. That's what I like doing in this game. I'm not the most technical maths wizard in the world, but I do have a friend on here that is, and he seems to have worked out that it is much more cost effective to do this than doing 20s. Now, I know that's probably going to get a lot of hate on here because everyone seems to be hating on this, and I don't think it's enough of an increase. Don't get me wrong. I'm not condoning it, but it is better if you look at it mathematically, according to him. I don't know the exact figures, but I just like building the themes, and I'm actually enjoying it. You know, I really enjoyed building it. So there we got a 1 minute 5 there. That was pretty good. We got a 5-star frenzy piece, which wasn't so good though. So here are the champions we use for the composition, and what we're going to do is we're going to run it down from the fastest champion all the way down to the slowest champion on the team to make it easier to follow, and we'll go through the gear as we go. So at the first place, the fastest champion is Allure, and Allure is mainly going for, well, only going for our A1. She attacks 3 times at random, decreases the target's turn meter by 25% on each critical hit. Now, we don't actually have this booked, so again, we could get more damage here. It's 5% for each one. I don't think it's going to make a massive difference, but I actually ran out of epic books at the clan versus clan tournament, so I couldn't book her, but again, every little helps at this stage just to try and tweak out extra damage. But yeah, that's the main reason she's here, because she will just use this A1 against the Fire Knight, which is really cool. Now, the speed we have her at is pretty fast. It's 287. Now, the only thing we actually ran her at 287 to begin with. So what we did is I dropped her back to 265 at one point, and it was failing every so often. So I'm not entirely sure what the threshold between that is, but I ran her at 287 after that, and it's never had a problem. You need 100% crit rate with her. I've got 99%, so it's as good as. Would like to get it to 100 if I could. And the accuracy is actually a little overkill. I always like to be just a little bit over. It's just the way my gear worked out as well, but 301. Realistically, I think you only need 250 plus for the 25 dungeons, but I mean, I usually go sort of 250 for the 20s, so I figured 300 should be fine for this. And then after that, just try and stack as much crit damage and attack as you can, because she's going to be dealing damage. So it's in 3-piece speed gear. I've only got a 5-star piece here, but it worked out fine with the speeds and the attack roll here, so I was able to use that. Hopefully I can get a 6-star piece with better speed rolls at one point, or more attack on it would be handy. Now the masteries is the next thing we need. Now she is going to be doing a 3-hitting A1, so you want to hit Giant Slayer with this one. So you're not really wanting to go with Flawless Execution or Helm Smasher in these builds, except for the Seer, because you're just not going to do as much damage over time. So it's War Master and Giant Slayer we're looking to do the damage, and you want Evil Eye on her. Well, I don't think it actually makes a difference because the amount's halved anyway, but I just put it on anyway. There's nothing else you would need. Lower Steel just to get extra stats, and then these 3 accuracy things really help too. So she's actually running at more than 300 accuracy because of these. She does lay. I mean, you don't need that. For extra damage, Heart of Glory will put on extra damage. Bring It Down will do extra. Obviously, Keen Strike. This as well, Methodical is really good. So it stacks up to 10% in our A1s, which means they start dealing much more damage. Especially when they get down to this point here. So Single Out. Once they get below 40% HP, you'll notice it. The health bar deplete much quicker, so the 8% here plus the 10% here, and you're still hitting this and this here, which is a massive damage increase you're getting between these 4. So that's really the 4 you need, plus Giant Slayer for this champion. So that is Allure. The next champion we're going into is the next fastest one is Lydia. Now Lydia's running a bit slower than normally would run her. She's running at 208 speed, but in a damage build, so she's in Savage. Savage and crit damage, and she has 300 accuracy again. That's kind of the benchmark I've gone for. So what I've done is I've just gone for 300 for all my champions that need accuracy, and then I've just stacked as much damage as I can. She's got a very low base attack, so it's quite difficult to make her deal damage in that respect, but her multipliers aren't too bad. So her and Allure do roughly the same damage. Maybe Lydia does a little bit more actually, but she's running at 252. Crit damage, just about 100%. She doesn't need the crit rate, so if you can't get exactly 100%, it's not really the end of the world. You will, over time, hit a pretty consistent time with 96%. 208 speed, so I found when I hit 208 speed, that seemed to be the optimum one. And 3000 attack, that's as most as I could get out of this build with the Savage gear. You're looking at just the best Savage gear you can get. Again, this is not free-to-play friendly at all. This is pretty high-end. I mean, this isn't like the best gear. I actually took this off another champion that I've got on them, but I mean, this is pretty solid. Look at this attack, crit rate, crit damage on here. But yeah, she's in pretty decent build. Speed, crit damage, crit rate. And then accuracy on the banner with some speed, double attack. That's a really good banner, that. Crit damage on the amulet and stuff. So that's the stats for Lydia. The next champion you're going into is the Almighty Seer, is the one that we really need for this comp. So this is the one we had to play about with the most, because it was fiddling about with our crit damage and speed to get it right. So here's the stats for Seer. I was talking rubbish in the video, it seems. I thought it was about 287. It's not. It's 301 crit damage we found. I was 310 or 315 beforehand, and she was wiping the enemies out every time pretty much on the 2 waves. So I lowered it to 301. That seems to be the optimum. I had it lower. That's what had happened. I think we'd had it at like 280, 285, 90, and it was just too inconsistent. There was a few times that would leave 3 champions up, and Contracts only takes 2 turns. So then what will happen is you'll go back into Lydia, she'll use her A2, and then you've screwed up the whole thing. Then probably Allure will die in the second wave. So about 300 crit damage, 100% crit rate is a must for this. You need to hit that consistent, otherwise you're screwed. Accuracy is not needed on this Seer build actually, because she's not stripping enemy buffs at all. It's just your buffs, so that's fine. So you don't have to worry about that. Speed, you just need her slower than Lydia. Now I did have her actually not far below Lydia at one point. So we got Lydia's speed up to what we needed, and I think we ran Seer at like 199, 198 or something. And what was happening was in the second wave, what would happen is it would go around, Allure would go, and then rather than Lydia go next, for whatever reason after Kaimar's reset on the previous one, Seer would take a turn. I'm not entirely sure why. There's obviously something happening there, but basically I just lowered it to 185 and that cured that problem. So that seems to be the decent speed if you're running Lydia at that speed. If you run Lydia faster, it's fine. The only reason is I couldn't get Lydia in that good damage gear any faster than that. But I figure it doesn't really matter, because once the Fire Knight starts not taking a turn, Allure's doing the thing to keep him down anyway, so it's not like you're waiting on the Fire Knight taking a turn, so it shouldn't affect the speed. I might be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure it wouldn't affect the speed. So 3.5k attack. Attack does actually matter here, because you just want her to deal as much damage as possible, and when she's not doing her Karma Burn, this is based on attack, and it can hit pretty hard, to be honest. Now her masteries are totally different. She has got lower steel, a little bit of accuracy. I don't really need that. I just wanted lower steel just to get anything extra I could. And we've got deadly precision, keen strike, heart of glory. So that's all extra damage. Ruthless ambush, really important for getting rid of those waves. Also bring it down. And methodical as well. That's going to deal more damage to the boss. But instead of going Giant Slayer or War Master, you want to go Helm Smasher for this one. Just to deal the most amount of damage possible. So obviously between Helm Smasher and Savage, you are dealing a bunch of damage. I mean, you could potentially go Savage and Cruel. Savage and Cruel would work, but I like the crit damage. That seems to be the determining factor, rather than like ignore another 5% defense. Seems to be a bit stronger in a build like this. And it's just, yeah, it's pretty decent gear I've got on our like crit rate on the boots, speed boots obviously, crit damage, crit rate again on the gauntlets. I've actually got a 5-star chest plate here from crit damage set, so that's that one. Now after your Seer, you want to be running a Prince Kaimar. He has to be in the second last slot with your damage dealer going last. So the reason behind this is because, like you've seen in the video, A lot of the time beforehand, when I had a lot of crit damage on Seer, I was just one-shotting the waves and going on, and then Kymar would be the last person and reset the abilities, then go round. But this way, he resets the abilities, then Kratraxa cleans up whatever enemy's left, and then you go into the next wave, like I said before, with the full range of skills, and you can just start all over again, and you can get through that second wave much, much quicker, get onto the boss and start doing some work, and that's what gets us close to the 1 minute run. But Kymar is running in a shield set just for that extra buff. His stats are 4.2k attack, just as much attack, crit damage, and crit rate as I could get on him. He doesn't actually need accuracy for this build at all, because he's not looking to land his poisons because, well, the Fire Knight never even takes a turn, so he doesn't need the poisons on him, and he doesn't use his sleep at all either. Now, 185 speed is exactly the same as Seer. I was actually just planning on getting like a 1-star speed glyph and just putting that on to Seer just to get her slightly above him, but the composition seems to work fine with them both at 185 because Seer always seems to take priority, so that's no problem at all. 4.2k attack, like I say, all these other things are irrelevant. Just make sure that he's just a little bit slower than your Seer, if not the same speed seems to work, but ideally probably just like 1 or 2 speeds slower. And like I say, shield set, I've got attack on the banner, attack, crit damage here, got crit rate on the gauntlets, attack percentage chest piece, attack percentage boots actually, just to get even more attack out of him. It's a broken set here, but it's fine, it works out, no problem at all. His masteries, we've taken some accuracy just because I'm going to use him for other content as well just now, but he's just needing War Master, so he doesn't actually need the accuracy, so you could go with... It doesn't really matter, to be honest. All you're really needing is War Master just to get that extra damage. Bring it down all this lot like the other champions too, just to make them do more damage against the boss. And finally, our last champion, we have got the Kratraxa. So I'm running Kratraxa in a Relentless set. I haven't actually properly tried her in just pure Savage set with loads of damage, so that's going to be the next option to see if that does bring us down to under 1 minute. But yeah, let's just stick with this just now. I think Relentless is going to be the way forward. So she is the slowest on the team, 100% crit rates needed, 260 crit damage, 181 speed, so she's just a little bit slower than the Kymar, and that's it. 5k attack is the most I could get with Relentless on her. I've got Cruel as well, so she ignores a little bit of defense here. So crit damage, gauntlets, attack percentage chest, and then yeah, crit damage, speed, crit rate, all that kind of stuff we need here. She's got an attack banner on, and she's got crit damage, amulet, and a ring with some attack on it. This would be quite cool. I'm hoping to get some more of these 5% to prevent skill cooldown things, because that will speed up the run eventually over time. Eventually, RNG will kick in, and if I have like 3 of these at 15%, chances are I'll keep hitting my A2, and her A2 always grants an extra turn, and it's just more chances for Relentless to proc as well. So I have seen her go pretty crazy sometimes. She's taken about 5 or 6 turns in a row. Now she's running, her masteries is Giant Slayer, because she does have this incredible A1 that hits 4 times, ignores 50% of defense. Well, it's 55 with the Cruel set on. And with the Giant Slayer, that's doing a ton of damage. And especially in Relentless, you can really pile up the damage on this champion. All these 4 again, these will do some more damage. You'll notice when it gets down to the last 40%, it will kill the boss pretty quickly. We'll put some accuracy on here just because she does land a weaken. You don't really need it. But I wanted to get Lore of Steel just to get that little bit of extra damage out of her. Evil Eye and Master Hexer in case I do land the debuff. So that is the team, guys. I'm going to do 100 runs exactly, and not only are we going to see how we do if we get this time below, hopefully we can get below 1 minute. I'm really hoping we do. And we will also see what the loot is like after 100 runs exactly. So we'll be back in about an hour, hopefully, to see how we did. Right, so that's us completed our 100 multi-battles. I have actually decreased the time. I'm not going to tell you yet. You'll have to stick around to the end of the video to watch that. But crit damage here, Fury, all these sets, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18. This is actually from the Forge. So we've got 18 6-star pieces out of 100 runs, but we do actually have 2 6-star legendary pieces, which is pretty good actually. That is an improvement. I don't normally see them that often. I usually see them, if I do like 200 runs, I'll maybe see 1 6-star legendary. I haven't actually checked to see if they're any good yet. It's actually an HP piece on a shield set, which is actually pretty damn good. The rest of the rolls aren't amazing. Would have been great if that was defense percentage, but it's still a very, very good piece, especially if I can roll resistance here. So I will be keeping that. But yeah, that lets you see it's not a massive improvement, but it is an improvement. And over time, I think you will see a big improvement in the amount of gear that we actually drop. I just hope that Plarium increase it a little bit over the next few weeks, just because I don't think it's quite high enough really to make it worthwhile, especially for most people, because it's going to be very difficult to build a team like this that's doing 1 minute runs. Most people are going to be doing this in like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes even. So I don't think people will start doing that with the extra energy cost plus the time. It's just not going to be worth it. So as you can see, after that 100 runs, at one point we actually hit 102. So far that is the best one we've got. That will be some lucky relentless procs, but it's averaging about sort of 106, 107, 108. That seems to be the main thing. But 102, it's basically a 1 minute run. I'm pretty damn happy with that. Took a lot of gear to do it. Hopefully we can get under the minute. I think the only thing I'm going to try with this team next is to run Kratraxa in like my best possible Savage gear, and that'll be a much more reliable run. And then I can see if she's just doing a lot more straight up damage and only getting the one extra turn off her A2, if she'll be able to do a more reliable, say 102 1 minute run. We never know. I think Relentless though, just because of all the Giant Slayer procs, is going to be the way forward, but I will test it just to see. But that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave in the comments below if any of you guys have managed to get under 1 minute, and please say the team. Again, like I said earlier, I cannot see any team that's not using Seer combo to get through those 2 waves, getting this done in under a minute. It just seems impossible. I think Seer's the only option we have just now, and I hope Plarium don't nerf her, because then this is going to be an absolute nightmare, and like no one will do stage 21 to 25. And make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We use a lot of silver and a lot of gems and a lot of time for this video, so I'd really appreciate the like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video, guys. Have a great day. Peace.